Bigweed here. Today we review a red ale and ask, should the government monitor how you're driving? All right. Good evening, Crow Hill.
How are we doing? How about some beer and conversation?
I think that's a great idea. What are we drinking?
Well, I ordered us this red ale.
A red ale.
Okay.
Well, don't do a lot of those.
Don't do a lot of those. Yep. Okay, so what's on your mind?
Well, I saw some numbers about the number of automobile deaths in a year.
It's pretty bad.
They are bad.
It's
They're
pretty
really
scary.
bad.
Yeah.
And I thought maybe the government should step in and keep a better eye on how we're driving. And in 2026, they're going to do just that. And I'd like to talk about what their plans are.
Okay. All right. Fine. That sounds like a reasonable thing to talk about.
Yeah.
So this beer here is called, I don't know where they got this name, Old Busthead. Vixen Irish style red ale. I don't know what any of those things mean. I know what red ale means. I know what, but
right. So there's a goat with weird horns. There's also a fox.
Right. It's a strange can, a strange message, but what a beautiful beer. Look at the color.
I mean, I don't even know what
that's just absolutely beautiful.
That's what they mean by a red beer right there. That is lovely.
Yeah, so what I expect out of a red ale is a slightly malty, not too hoppy kind of a beer, and that's very nice, isn't it?
That delivers.
Yeah.
That is just
it's very nice.
5.4%.
5.4%, 23 IBUs, which means it's low in bitterness.
Low in bitterness.
And
you don't get a lot of hoppiness.
Yeah.
But it's fairly balanced, but on the hoppy end, and really nice.
That's very nice. I like it. It's I think it's more on the malty end than on the hoppy end.
Yeah.
But yeah.
What is that what I said?
You said it's more on the hoppy end.
No,
you mean more it's more on the malty end.
Yeah.
This is a lovely beer. So, and this is relatively local. Fauquier County, which is out west of us a little ways. So very nice. Good job, guys. Send us some more. We'll give them a review. Very nice beer. All right, so how is the government going to fix this problem of all these car deaths?
The infrastructure bill.
Yeah. That was in the Biden administration.
In the Biden administration. Right. I don't know if you noticed section 24220.
I always read all of these bills. I don't sleep. I just stay up at night reading these bills. Yeah.
Yes. It's called the infrastructure bill includes a, quote, drunk driving kill switch in all cars, and this is for 2026.
Okay.
So the cars that are coming out any minute now.
Right.
Some worry government will abuse it. Okay, let's. How in the heck does this kill switch work?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I know that there has been talk.
I think there is a kill switch is nuts, but
yeah.
Well,
there has been talk of when someone gets convicted of drunk driving, that they have to have a thing in their car where they have to blow into it, and it measures
that's fairly common.
Yeah, it measures their blood alcohol level before they can drive the car. So that's one way that people have talked about dealing with this. But this is a different thing.
This is in every car.
It's going to monitor. It's going to monitor you somehow. It's going to
there's a camera looking at your face.
Yeah.
Now I don't know what they're looking for. Or how, and of course, there isn't one person assigned to each car.
Right. So it's got to be AI driven.
AI is going to
look at your face and decide if you're drunk?
Yes.
Okay.
Erratic behavior.
Yeah.
I mean,
having a hard time getting the key in the.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is it going to? Or just any. It's not just. It's buried in there as drunk driving, but it could just be anything.
Yeah. So the idea is the cameras will be looking at you.
Yeah.
They'll be monitoring you,
Yeah.
and if you trip some thing in the AI algorithm, then it's going to shut down your car so that you can't drive it.
Now, it's not just going to turn the car off on 95, right?
I don't know.
I mean, in the interest of safety, we're just going
to stop a car in the middle of 65 mile per hour traffic. We're just going to stop a car.
So
I think the idea is it would stop it from driving from the first get-go, so you can't start it.
Well, I mean, you're telling me it's going to be able to interpret this behavior. Or what if you're fine when you get in the car and you just start slugging them down while you're driving?
Well, like our friend, the most amazing drunk in the world. Who's the guy who played the giant in Princess Bride? Andre the Giant. Do you remember that article about how he would go on a road trip and just have a case of beer sitting next to him? Just drink the entire case of beer. But he was a different kind of a guy.
Installation of equipment to listen to in-car noises and conversation, monitor eyes, and kill switches to automatically turn off a car.
So you know what's going to happen.
This is so dystopian.
Yeah.
I can't believe I could see somebody proposing something like this, and then there just be a national conversation over it. But instead, this was passed 2 years ago,
and we haven't heard a peep.
Nobody heard a peep about it, and it's in any minute now that they're going to be in the car. And
how many people with like strange speech disorders are going to not be able to start their car because the AI is going to think that they're drunk?
What if you're just yelling at the radio because you're listening to a broadcast?
Yeah.
You're listening to Adam Schiff. And
you're upset,
and you're upset, or you're you know what I mean. You're trying to swat your children in the back seat because they won't behave. You know, is that considered road rage by AI?
Well, I guess the problem is the precedent that it sets. The precedent that it sets is you're going to be monitored in your car, and there'll be some set of triggers or whatever that will say, okay, now we're going to shut your car down because we think that what you're saying, how long is it going to be before somebody makes a comment that AI thinks is racist and they're going to shut down your car?
Yeah.
Or anything else. They're going to say, oh, no, you can't say that about vaccines.
I'd like to murder that guy.
Yeah. Or something far less, like you could say George Bush lied about torturing, criminals, and the AI is going to say, no, you can't say that. We're going to shut down your car. So when I first heard about this, I thought, imagine if Justin Trudeau had this power during the trucker dispute.
An excellent point, because this is in the interest of public safety.
That's the idea.
Is the argument.
Everything is...
Well, of course, of course Trudeau could have made that argument, right? Because these guys are not getting properly vaxxed, and you're killing people by sitting in your cab by yourself,
right?
Not properly vaxxed, and yes, that's in the interest of
public safety.
That's right. I mean, they already took over people's bank accounts.
That's right.
In the interest of public safety.
Yeah.
So of course they would do that. I mean, why aren't we not? Honestly, I can't believe this is really going to happen without.
Well, it's hard to believe that there hasn't been more conversation about it. But I think this is just the problem of the big deep state is doing all this stuff all the time. There's all these laws going on all the time, and only a few of them bubble up to the point where we get any actual conversation about it. You know, the media doesn't.
That's because it was tucked into this 1,000-page thing. If it had come up as a single bill.
But why didn't the media? Isn't that their job to look at these things and find? Hey, wait a minute. Did you know that this is going to say that from now on you're going to have somebody's going to have the ability to shut your car off?
I mean, I don't expect half of the politicians to care,
right?
But the libertarians would certainly.
You'd think they should.
Would weigh in here. But all right. So how about in the safety versus liberty? Do you know that? Well, let me just ask you: how many deaths do you think were caused by drunk driving in the last year? I'm thinking there's about 30,000 auto deaths. How many do you think are drunk driving related?
Out of the 30,000?
Yes.
Half of them?
But, well, not quite a third. So 10,000.
Okay.
What if this could stop half of those?
Okay.
What? 5,000 people means nothing to you? You're willing to just poo-poo 5,000 dead people, parents crying and everything.
I'm perfectly happy with them trying to find a way to stop drunk driving, but I don't think that means giving the government the ability to turn off your car when they think that you've done something wrong. I know those.
Well, that
those
minor inconvenience is worth 5,000 deaths to you. Oh, very good.
No, I'm
very
saying
good.
I'm
100% behind you.
think about the other ways that this could be abused. So what this means is every car.
Hold on, let me get some. Let me stack my deck here
Okay,
before
all right,
before you come in here.
Yeah.
Carjacking has become a worse problem
Mm-hmm.
now that people that cars are harder to steal off the street.
Oh,
So you
yeah.
need to steal them with the person
while the
with
car's
the keys
running.
in the car.
Yes.
Think of how many carjackings, and I don't know what kind of, besides the damage that comes, just
So,
people
okay,
in the car.
so
So I'm going to stack. So that on top, there's another thing that could be stopped.
Well, wait a minute.
by
So
this.
let's talk about carjacking for a minute. So you're saying that carjacking increased
Yeah.
because it was harder to steal cars. Therefore, in order to steal the car, you need to steal the car while the person is already in it with the keys.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
So now, let's apply that to the next level. Let's say that the monitors in the car are going to be watching you to
Yeah.
make sure that you're an approved person.
Yeah.
Okay. So what that means is some drunk is going to go out and take somebody at gunpoint who's sober and put him in his car and say, "You're going to drive me home," because you'll pass all the monitoring things.
Right.
And it'll be a new kind of carjacking. It'll be you'll be hijacking somebody to drive you.
So now sober people will be in danger.
Exactly. Sober people will be in danger because they'll grab you off the street.
How much
and
did you
they'll
have to
say,
drink today? Well, nothing.
Good.
You're coming with me."
with me. I'm putting you in the front
But
seat.
so now will the AI monitor know the approved faces of
there
the
you
car? So now when you actually are too drunk to drive and you ask somebody to drive you home,
Yeah.
it won't start because the AI won't recognize that person's face associated with the car. I mean, is it? I've only been thinking about this for 10 minutes, and the problem is so glaringly obvious that
But
how did it get this far?
If there's a switch somewhere in the car that can shut it down, another argument for this is it would be helpful to law enforcement. Like you have 25 cop cars chasing
How many
O.J.
high-speed
Simpson.
chases
Yeah.
will not have to happen?
Right, exactly. So instead of, I was thinking of the low-speed chase with O.J. Simpson,
Yeah, yes,
but
that's
still, when you have a high-speed chase, they just say, okay, dial up the thing and turn off that car.
Right.
Now, that sounds good until you think, well, wait a minute.
I know.
What about criminals doing that? What about hackers doing that? What about your crazy ex-girlfriend doing that? What about, right? I mean, there are so many ways that can be abused where somebody else is going to use that kill switch to turn your car off. And they say, okay, well, here's a pretty woman driving into our neighborhood. Let's turn off her car and pull her out of the vehicle.
Well, I mean, if you can hack the system.
Yeah. And who says they're not going to be able to? I mean, good grief.
So everybody...
All they have to do is ask Claude to write them to some... Claude is an AI system. Ask Claude to write the software to hack into this system.
Thinking about it, just whoever even thought of this idea
Well, they
ought to be strung up. And instead it got all the way into the bill, and it's about to happen, far as I can tell. I mean, unless something has happened since this article was written a couple of years ago when the bill was introduced.
Well, 2026 cars are right around the corner.
Yeah, yes, they come out this year.
Yeah. So they have to already be building it.
Okay, well, I guess...
So I guess that means I'm not going to buy a new car.
I will never buy a new car.
Yeah.
I will never buy a new car.
So what this means is the government will have a backdoor switch to be able to say you can't drive. Now, the justification for it is to stop drunk driving, which is a good thing. We should stop drunk driving.
But at least what you were talking about the hose you have to blow
Yeah.
in, you've already established
Yes,
yourself.
you've already shown that you're a drunk driver, and they're saying, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with that.
Yes, that's reasonable. If somebody has already been convicted of drunk driving, then making sure that they don't do it again, that's good. But assuming that everybody is guilty, that's another problem. But then also, you know that whenever the government has some power where we can shut off your car, you know they're going to start applying it to more and more and more things.
So they already want the idea of charging you based on how much you drive.
Right.
Right? So this way, they're not just going to monitor your face. They're going to know everywhere you go all the time and how long your car is driven, to whatever. But it seems to me, since the road tax is already it comes in the form of your gasoline tax.
Yeah.
So the more you drive, the more gas you buy, the more you pay. Well, there you go. Why do you have to monitor how far I drive?
Because everything
is
about control.
And then charge you again based on your commute's too long, which means every time you change jobs, you have to buy a new house. Right? I mean, it's like, well, I didn't play this one. Hey, I'm no happier about this 50-mile commute than you are, and I didn't have it originally, but the job is better, and so that's what I do now. Well, you'll pay for that, young man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Well, everything is about government taking more and more control.
Yes.
And more ability to just take over our lives and tell us how to live. This is, to me, it's kind of the same thing. This is going to sound crazy, but to me, it's kind of the same thing as the whole recycling thing. We're gonna invade your life and tell you how you throw things away. You know, you have to put these things in this box and these things in this box.
With the old greater good argument.
Yeah, it's the same problem of they're starting to meddle in everything that we do, and they want to be able to say, look, if you're not the kind of person that we want driving, then we're going to turn off your car. And now, wait a minute. To a certain extent, that's perfectly justifiable. If somebody is a threat, if somebody is been convicted of drunk driving, somebody is a problem, yes, absolutely, we want to stop that person. But in this case, what they're doing is they're setting up a system where they can stop anybody for any reason that they can
a
justify.
human being isn't even making the decision.
Right. It's a computerized thing.
Yes, and it could, like I said,
and of course that can't be abused.
It could just be your erratic, explosive behavior while you're having an argument with your wife, right? And they're looking at your face and they're going, that guy does not look stable. And so we're going to pull, and then what? Then decide once you've cooled down or whatever. But even the mechanics of it, is it going to be a blinking light that says you have 1 minute to pull off to the side of the road? There's got to be some. Obviously, it's not going to shut the engine off.
Yeah.
In the middle of the road.
In the middle of the road while you're driving.
So, and how does it? No, it's going to have another camera facing outward, so it sees that you're able to find a safe place to pull over before it kill switches.
It's going to be cameras everywhere, making all kinds of decisions for us. That's
but you get
it's crazy.
to the.
And why hasn't this been discussed? Why hasn't this been a topic of conversation?
Yes, Fourth Amendment privacy business. You could say in the whole for the public good, just having cameras in your house. Hey, right? How does it go? Well, if you got nothing to hide, why would you care?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
that's the way it's justified.
A lot of damn reasons.
Yeah. All right, but I think you have another application.
It's a Fourth Amendment issue.
Yes.
This is the same.
Search and seizure. They're gonna start making decisions. It's not even a judge making decisions. It's not even a policeman making decisions.
At least the blow into the thing was, you've already been adjudicated and the judges and
no, this is just going to be AI deciding. I don't like the way you look.
Yes,
Right.
The guy just doesn't look right. I mean, can you really tell the difference between sleepy guy, and people do fall asleep and wreck.
Yes.
So now it's if your eyes look bloodshot.
Well, that's the thing.
Sleepy.
That's the thing. Once they establish this as we're going to stop drunk driving, which everybody is going to agree with. We want to stop drunk driving. The next thing is they're going to start taking it out a little bit more. We don't want angry driving. We don't want sleepy driving. We don't want whatever else. And we don't want Republicans driving.
And this isn't a bad idea. We don't want People checking their email driving.
Yes,
People,
right.
People messing with their CD players. Because
Yes.
we're all going to be buying old cars with CD players because nobody wants this
Nobody
thing.
wants these new
So we're going to be
cars.
fishing around for our CD collection. And while you're doing that, AI goes, he's not paying attention to the road. Because it's going to see your eyes. If your eyes aren't on the road, if you're looking at anything else, then you're a distracted driver. Yeah, kind of. I mean, yeah. What if I just reading billboards or checking out the girl in the convertible next door?
Yeah, exactly. You see a beautiful woman in the convertible next door, and you give her a wolf whistle, and the car says, "Nope, I don't know how to do that," and takes you off this.
You don't know. So, Fourth Amendment. I've always thought, and I've been in, let me see, at least 3 DUI checkpoints.
Right.
And fortunately, I was
Sober at the time, yes.
perfectly fine. I was on my way to the bar, and but I thought you're assuming that I've done something wrong, making me prove to you that I have not done something wrong, which
Yeah, it
I don't
doesn't
think
seem
that's
right.
how it works.
It doesn't seem
So
right.
I was just like, constitutionally, how did this ever pass? Well, I had to look it up. And in 1986, the Michigan State Police Department had a sobriety checkpoint, and Mr. Rick Sitz challenged the checkpoints, and Sitz was victorious in Michigan lower courts. But it worked its way up to the Supreme Court in 1990, and a 6-3 decision for the Michigan Department has established this as federal law.
So it is okay for the government to have a checkpoint.
No, yes,
checkpoint.
and here you go. Here you go. The court noted that, quote, no one can seriously dispute the magnitude of the drunk driving problem or the state's interest in eradicating it. The court then found the weight bearing on the other side, the measure of intrusion on motorists stopped briefly at checkpoints, is slight. And that's how we got to where we are.
Okay,
But
so that logic.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
That logic seems like it could justify so many things.
All
you
day long.
could say, okay, the state definitely wants to stop this thing, therefore we're going to impose this new requirement. We're going to say
mildly inconvenient.
right. So we want to say the state. Let's think of some crazy example. The state wants to stop fathers from abusing their children. So we're going to have the social worker come into everybody's house to check
Randomly.
Randomly. Just going to go into the house.
It'd be easier just to put cameras in all children's bedrooms.
Right. To make sure that
parents.
parents
It's a mild inconvenience.
Right. Yeah.
And what? Don't you think it's in the interest of the state to stop this thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And you could justify so many different things. Okay, we want to stop smoking. So it's in the state's interest to stop smoking. So we're now going to have cameras everywhere to check for people smoking.
Yeah.
Or it's in the
smoking breathalyzers.
yeah. Or how about just overeating? It's in the state's interest to say
Fatphobic.
We don't want people eating so much that they get fat and are.
No, you're going to lose that one.
Yeah.
I'm telling you what.
Well, that's right because of the way things are. But that logic it really disturbs me. Who were the justices who voted for that?
Who the dissenters were the libs. Paul Stevens, Thurgood Marshall, and William Brennan.
So the conservatives were in favor of this.
Rehnquist, Scalia.
Scalia was in favor of this. Wow.
Sandra Day, Harry Blackmun.
Wow. That's really surprising.
Yeah.
I
mean, because there's law and order conservatives and there's libertarian conservatives, and they don't always.
No, they don't always see eye to eye. Yeah. Well, that's disturbing. So I guess the thing that ties.
I almost don't believe it.
I know.
When the cars come out and if we haven't heard stories yet, I'm going to say, all right, behind the scenes, they have somehow defunded or scrapped this thing, because if it's really going to happen, it's going to happen tomorrow.
Right.
And
yeah.
we ought to be hearing about it.
Yeah. Yeah, so the thing that ties all this together is, to what extent can the government monitor you, surveil you, assume that you're guilty before you're able to do something?
Yeah, well, the surveillance state that we live in is doing that all day, every day.
All day,
I
every
just
day.
don't know why, but at least then the camera is on the street. This camera is in your car,
Yeah.
and it's not even being monitored by a real human being.
Can I just put a piece of tape on it?
Well, that's what you know. People, do you ever put a piece of tape on your flat laptop camera?
Yes.
People do that.
I have this little thing that sits on top of my camera that I can slide.
Okay.
So it's on or off.
Yeah. And I'm sure there will be immediate work. But if every car gets a registered IP address, even if, and you find a way to circumvent this, well, they'll know.
And are we going to have to pay for the internet service to have our car be monitored this way? You have to buy a new expense. Now you're going to have to buy internet service for your car.
And now will your insurance company have access to how many miles you drive? Because when you signed up, you told them what your commute was.
Yeah.
And that's sort of that. Your rate is based on how often you drive, and this is just self-reporting.
Yeah.
Self-reporting. Ha! We need to monitor you people.
Everything's going to be monitored. Everything's going to be monitored. It's 1984 times 10.
Yeah, I thought we were living in the Brave New World. Or is it,
No, I think
both.
it's both. It's 1984
It's-
and yeah.
it's still 80-20 Brave New World,
Yeah.
but there's plenty of
1984 in there.
to go around. All
All
right.
right.
Well, I thought. Wait a minute. Where's the
uplifting thing? Okay, here's the uplifting thing. Here, let's come up with some good thing about this. The good thing about this is everybody's going to be buying classic cars.
Yes.
People
Well,
are going to
get
be
back-
much more interested in buying 1963 Ford Mustangs.
Well, yes. We'll stop trusting all of the electronics in our cars. Assume that they're bugged, and we'll go back to fixing our own cars.
There we go. That's good.
Very good.
Leave it on that. Thanks so much for listening to Beer and Conversation with Pigweed and Crowhill. Remember to visit us at pigweedandcrowhill.com or send us an email at pigweedshow@gmail.com.